Hi, my name is Martez Mott. I'm a senior researcher in the Ability team at Microsoft Research, and it's my pleasure to present our paper titled Accessibility of Profile Pictures, Alt Text and Beyond to Express Identity Online, on behalf of my co-authors, Tang and Cutrell. Profile pictures are everywhere. They are ubiquitous on social networking platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, and also productivity apps like Slack, Microsoft Teams, and Google Workspaces. Profile pictures play an important role on these platforms by serving as a means of self-expression that allows people to convey aspects of their personalities and interests. Profile pictures are also important because they often help create first impressions for people viewing their profiles. However, profile pictures, like other visual content, can be inaccessible to blind and low vision people who use screen readers. Although platforms typically support alt text altering for images posted on their sites, very few platforms support alt text for profile pictures. This is extremely problematic since screen reader users might not have access to the rich social signals conveyed in profile pictures. Instead, when encountering profile pictures, like this profile picture for Nicholas Gray, a screen reader user might hear something like this.
Nicholas Gray, image.
There has been a lot of prior research that has investigated different aspects of alt text altering and consumption. We go into more detail in our paper, but I want to surface two key points in this presentation. First, context is important. Research from Stengel et al. Showed that the context of where an image is placed impacted what screen reader users wanted to know about the image. Second, describing people is complicated. Research from Bennett et al. Demonstrated that the best practices for altering alt text are often poorly suited for describing people due to the complexities of representing gender, race, and disability. Our research builds upon these prior efforts by furthering our understanding of the role of context in impacting information needs and preferences. So we asked two questions. First, how does context impact what screen reader users want to know about profile pictures? And second, how would they prefer that information be conveyed? To investigate these questions, we conducted a semi-structured interview study with 16 screen reader users. 7 participants identified as women and 9 as men. All interviews were conducted remotely using Zoom. To explore how context impacts information preferences, we created 3 scenarios for our participants. In our first scenario, we asked participants to imagine that they were managers using a professional networking platform like LinkedIn to find an employee to fill an open customer service position. In the second scenario, we asked participants to imagine that they were using a professional networking platform like LinkedIn to connect with employees at different companies. In the third scenario, we asked participants to imagine that they had just joined an online community for video game enthusiasts, and that they were to explore profiles to find who they might be interested in chatting with. This scenario was different from the prior two since we used digital avatars instead of images of people for the profile pictures. Unfortunately, there isn't enough time to get into detail about the recreational networking scenario, but please read our paper to learn more. We were interested to understand how screen reader users wanted information about profile pictures to be conveyed, so we created 4 distinct information styles: default, brief, descriptive, and narrative. It's important to note that we created these information styles as design probes to help prompt and encourage discussion from our participants. The default style is what many screen reader users might experience today when encountering profile pictures without alt text. For this profile of Nicholas Gray, it might sound something like this.
Nicholas Gray, image.
The brief style provides information similar to what might be found in a driver's license, such as gender, hair color, and eye color. Here's the brief description for Nicholas.
A man with black hair, image.
The descriptive style provides information about the person's race, gender, appearance, clothing, and background descriptions when appropriate. Here's the descriptive description for Nicholas.
A white man with black hair with a stubble beard wearing glasses with red-tinted lenses, a gray hat, and a black jacket.
The narrated style is a spoken version of the descriptive style read aloud by a voice actor. The narrated style also included a first-person introduction at the beginning of each description. Here is the narrated description for Nicholas.
I'm Nicholas Gray, a white man with black hair, with a stubble beard, wearing glasses with red-tinted lenses, a gray hat, and a black jacket.
We created a simple website for participants to explore during the study. The website contained 12 total pages, with each page containing 6 fictional profiles. We would first introduce one of the scenarios and then allow participants to explore the profiles on the page. The alt text for the profiles would be conveyed in one of the 4 information styles, and participants explored all 4 information styles for each scenario. Please check out our paper for more details on our study design. From our interviews, we found that our participants overwhelmingly preferred the descriptive and narrated information styles. Participants shared how they would use the information provided in different ways depending on the scenario. Participant 3 noted that the appropriateness of how people dress would be a factor in who she might want to hire. I think if you're looking for a job, you're putting your face out there, your profile out there. You want that picture to match what you're looking for. You're not going to be showing up looking for someone to work customer service wearing a tank top and shorts. Probably not going to be someone I want to hire. In the professional networking scenario, participants discussed the benefits of additional information when connecting with strangers for the first time. One benefit was the social signals that might be conveyed about workplace culture. For example, participant 4 believed more detailed descriptions would allow her to better understand if a company has a diverse workforce. I think when it comes from looking at another company and sort of the individuals that work there, this is when physical characteristics may come a little bit more relevant. Just simply because for myself, I would like to see if there's representation from diverse communities, especially the ones that I'm a part of. Participants really enjoyed the rich experiences provided by the narrated descriptions. Participants commented that hearing users' voices made the profile feel more personal and that it allowed them to create mental images of users. Participant 10 explained how hearing a voice can be similar to seeing a person for the first time. I love that because oftentimes when you first see someone, it's an impression, you know. For a visually impaired person, hearing someone speak, you get that same impression, and I thought that was such a great touch. It's like, oh, it's a real person, you know. It's not just a name on a screen. The narrated descriptions also surface questions around image description authorship. By lending their voice to narrate their image description, participants felt more confident that the image description was authored by the narrators. This sense of ownership can lead to more trust in the image descriptions, a point shared by participant 2. The two major differences between the last two pages is the first one was written out, and I don't necessarily know who wrote it. It could have been them, but it was kind of really nice to hear them take ownership of it. After concluding the interviews with our screen reader participants, we were curious to know what opinions sighted individuals had regarding authoring image descriptions for profile pictures. Because sighted people are producers of image descriptions but not consumers of them, unlike screen reader users who both produce and consume image descriptions, it's important to understand their opinions on what to include in image descriptions. So we conducted a second remote study using teams, this time with 7 sighted participants with 6 women and 1 man. We gave sighted participants an opportunity to listen to image descriptions of the profile pictures in all 4 image information styles before we revealed the actual profile pictures to them. We found that all 7 of our participants held misconceptions about what information screen reader users want to know in image descriptions of profile pictures. These beliefs shared by our sighted participants can lead to direct contradictions to what screen reader users want to know about profile pictures. For example, screen reader user 7 noted how information about clothing could be interesting to know in order to find shared interests, saying, like if you notice something in a photo that indicates a shared interest, like a sports team, or if they're wearing a piece of clothing, or if they're standing in front of a certain monument. For sighted participant 6, however, she felt that too much information about clothing or jewelry would be unnecessary. So one thing that I felt could be a little redundant is like, do we really need to call out, choker necklace or hoop earrings? Because are we giving too much detail about hoop earrings and a choker? What does that add? We did find some similarities between our screen reader and sighted participants, as our sighted participants also enjoyed the narrated descriptions and noted how rich of an experience it can be. Sighted participant 4 noted how you could pick up on people's energy by hearing their voice. I love that descriptions are in the person's own voices. I really like that, just being able to have that, like you pick up on all the vibrant energy right when the person reads in their own voice, right? There's plenty of discussion in our paper, but before wrapping up, I wanted to hit on 2 important points. First, context is important when determining what details to include about profile pictures. We found that the type of information people wanted to know depended heavily on their current context. For example, when looking to hire someone, how users appear in their profile pictures can be really important. If an image description says a person is wearing a jacket, knowing what kind of jacket exactly can be helpful. Details about a person's race, ethnicity, or gender can be really important in professional networking situations. For example, a woman screen reader user might feel more comfortable asking another woman how their company treats their women employees. And also, details about what's in the background of profile pictures can provide important social signals that can be useful in both professional and recreational networking scenarios. For example, noticing a person has computer code on one monitor and a game on a second one might prompt someone to ask if they make video games. Second, we want to stress the potential usefulness of narrated image descriptions. Both our screen reader and sighted participants found the narrated style extremely engaging, which suggests that social platforms might find it beneficial to allow users to upload and create more audio-based content. Also, the sense of ownership this information style conveys could be useful when considering the potential for bias or discrimination, since people have more confidence that the user themselves chose those words and phrases to represent them. Thank you so much for your time. Please read our paper to learn more about how we as a research community can help improve the accessibility of profile pictures.